Coming into our 2024 championship finale, your top 5 drivers in the standings are separated by only 10 points. Your top 2 are only separated by 3, and any one of them could come away with the championship tonight as we head back to Nevada for our final race of 2024. Welcome back to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You're watching Saturday Night Thunder on FTN, and it is our final race of the year and our final race of the 2024 B season. 5 drivers remain eligible for the championship tonight, any one of which could come away with the championship victory. It is not, however, a winner-go-home circumstance. Best points finish across the previous race, and tonight's event in Sin City will come away with the top spot in the championship and end the season victorious. Welcome back on FTN. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast. I'm David Kreutz, commentating and producing. Right now, qualifying has gotten well on its way with 15 drivers currently registered and still counting. Some drivers showing up just within the last few moments. Last time we went to this circuit, Las Vegas Motor Speedway was the earliest portion of the year. Matter of fact, it was our second race of 2024. In that event, Jim Thurston was able to get the job done, and it was his first SNT win of the year. He has come back tonight alongside many of your full-time competitors, some of which are still taking times, including your current points leader, Vinny Tigner. Right now, Vinny has the advantage over the rest of the field when it comes to the championship race. 3 points up on the next driver behind him, meaning that tonight, advantage is ever so slightly in his favor regarding position. He has 3 points up on Matthew Weeks and 6 points up on former champion as well, Jordan Kuntz. Right now, Vinny going to be going for his one and only lap, so this time will count, and we'll see whether or not it puts him at the top of the board. Currently, Matthew Weeks has that provisional pole. Lap times proven tight all session so far. Turns lane 4, Vinny looking strong. Should be good enough to lead the top 5 across the line. That's 30.663. That is good for the pole. 7 thousandths of a second. Vinny go on top. Taking it from rival by less than 100th of a second. Vinny Tigner up to the board. Now up next to try to a little bit better than Matthew Weeks, the time former champ, and nearly a 3-time consecutive champ, Jordan Kuntz, winning both championships in 2023, and he goes to winning kickoff this season. He just went up to the top of the board on his own. 1,000 to Vinny. Jordan Kuntz will have the start of a lifetime. He'll take pole position. He looks to take back the championship to end 2024. No driver remains on the track, and top 3 drivers championship picture lineup 2, 3. So qualifying has concluded. Looks like 5 drivers opted to go for a time. Chris Tripp, Jim Thurston, Tyler Seaver, Michael Deitch, and notably Gino Marro, who is third in championship standings, come in not taking time, nor as registered. He does not come in the next final second. He will be ineligible for the champion, and it looks like his time runs out of running very early. Checkered flag will fall, though qualifying at number 99 of Jordan Kuntz, taking it with a quick time of 30.656. His fastest speed, 108 miles an hour on his fast qualifying lap. Final few minutes now for drivers to put times in. Jordan Kuntz on pit road. Kenneth Garrell getting on the way. Huge lap time for Matthew Weeks, Vinny Tigner, and Jordan Kuntz alike. Not to mention Henry Kaloff, who's still championship eligible, will start just outside of the top 5. We'll talk about the starting grid now as we begin to go bottom to top and top to bottom. For the time being, it looks like the driver, the number 57, Garrell, the only driver who's got himself on the circuit here, at least at a full race pace. So let's take an eye from above at the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway, get to know a little bit more about your starting grid. 4 minutes left on the timing sheets tonight for our final practice of the year. But qualifying has already concluded. So without further ado, let's get to know the drivers from, of course, the front row on down. In your top 4, we have 3 drivers competing for a championship, and the only element of it outside will be in the 3rd row. Inside of row number 1, however, it's going to be the number 99 of Jordan Kuntz. Kuntz is going to find himself all the way up to the top, putting a quick time in at a 30.656. Then you got Vinny Tigner in second, 30.662. Front row comprised of 2 drivers, only different by 6 1/1000ths of a second. Then you'll have Matthew Weeks, 7 1/1000ths of a second behind, and Alec Daffin will be in 4th, 30.686. Alec finding himself not in the championship running for the first time at the end of a season since 2022. Not the best of campaigns for the Daffin crew after a strong start. Ethan Burrell coming back very strong. Burrell has been, as of late, part-time competitor with multiple podium finishes. He'll start 5th, and the championship-eligible Henry Kaloff will be position number 6 tonight, with Carter Casey 7th and Trey Holmes then in 8th. P9 going to go to Kenneth Garrell in the number 57. It's a 30.903 for Garrell, and just a little behind Jordan Owens, who was able to kick off the final rounds here with the victory. 30.938 for the driver of the number 45. Last drivers on the field go as follows. Jim Thurston is registered late and he's put himself in the running. Number 96 won last time we were at Las Vegas. He'll be starting in the 11th position tonight. Then you're going to have the driver of the number 90. That is Chris Tripp, position number 12. Michael Deitch is going to be P13, and the number 77 of Tyler Seaver will be right there, last of your 7th row. 14 drivers have registered for tonight's festivities, and it looks like the final grid from Las Vegas is put together. That is your top to bottom on the lineup here for your 2024 championship finale. Still a minute and 55 seconds remaining here for drivers in final practice. Fastest time set so far by the number 37 of Ethan Burrell. His quick time coming in at a 30.826, which would not have been one of the best runs in qualifying, but once again, testing for race pace here and looking for that long-term consistency might be one of the goals in this admittedly short qualifying run. Burrell is going to decide to go high here. Carter Casey coming up, looking to see if we can have some multi-groove racing. Some drivers not able to get practice or qualifying lap that we're seeing on the track right now. And for one, Jim Thurston. Thurston not able to put a time in previously. However, we know he's fast at this track. We've said it before already, but he's won in Las Vegas in Saturday Night Thunder. No reason to believe he has no chance at doing it once again. Major time on the board there for Thurston. 30.73, and that would have been good for a top 5 in qualifying. That's only the 2nd lap he's run in this session. So Thurston looking strong as of recent. As he puts himself up to the top, Ethan Burrell quickly usurps him, and it looks like it's going to be a 30.676, the top of the timing sheets in this practice session again. Thurston concedes and comes down to pit road. It looks like he will not have any more time to go for a better lap. Ethan Burrell going to be once again on top, and we might see something that has been pretty abundant as of late. The championship competitors maybe a little bit more conservative early on and giving way to drivers like Burrell who don't have a championship to race for. The drivers who are only looking for a win might be a little bit riskier in the way they go about things tonight, and expect to see them at the front of the field. Thurston and Ethan Burrell looking strong respectively in the fastest time in your last practice session this year. Run by Ethan Burrell, 30.676, and a mile an hour at about 178 across the entire lap. Rapid time for Ethan Burrell. And with that, qualifying and practice is out of the way. 120 laps remain in Las Vegas. Your final moments of the season coming right ahead, and the starting grid is now in formation. Jordan Kuntz takes to the pole position. You can see him there inside of row number 1, and the pole, just about the best spot a driver can start in at an intermediate track. It's not like the super speedways where the pole position means very little. Mile-and-a-half tracks, usually you get that track position, you keep it. And with the Xfinity package changing very recently here on iRacing, it's an even bigger advantage for Jordan Kuntz, given the fact he will have to deal only with clean air if he's able to defend and keep his race lead. That could change. Of course, he's got a lot of fierce competitors around him. Vinny Tigner and Matthew Weeks, second and third respectively, both of which we're going to come onto the grid very soon, and you'll see them. They're championship eligible, and they're going to be racing knowing their season is on the line with each and every position. Coming into this race, Vinny Tigner has the championship lead and advantage, so even if he's not to win, if he stays directly behind a driver like Jordan Kuntz or Matthew Weeks at the end of this race and they balance out on bonus points such as leading laps or a fastest lap, then it means that Matthew Weeks nor Jordan Kuntz would be able to make their way to victory. It would be Vinny Tigner with the advantage, even if positions might not tell the same story. So as a result, Jordan Kuntz and Matthew Weeks alike have a little bit more to fight for tonight coming into our festivities. You can see how the top 5 lines up. Unfortunately, Gino Marrow will not be with us. However, Vinny Tigner comes in leading. 3 points back is going to be Matthew Weeks. Gino Marrow finds himself 5 behind but will not be with us racing. Then, of course, you have Jordan Kuntz, 6 points. And then Henry Kowloff, the last man in the fight, 10 points behind. The round of 5 comes down to 10 points overall and 1 more race. Still, could be a winner-take-all, but every driver's got a fair shot with the advantages that one driver has in Vinny Tigner, though. Going to be a little bit more challenging to get to the trophy. The Las Vegas Motor Speedway, one of the newest intermediate circuits in stock car racing, has only seen use for a little over 25 years. In addition to an oval circuit, there's a drag strip where drivers see speeds of more than 300 miles an hour. We're coming in under the cusp of 200, however, tonight. Still, very quick speeds. The conditions are going to hold up pretty well. 90 degrees Fahrenheit ambient and track temperature. Relatively low humidity coming in at 28%, and clear night skies. Conditions will not change. We'll stay in the dark all night long. So drivers understanding their conditions are in their favor. It should be a pretty constant game when it comes to going out of pit road for fuel and tire. Shouldn't be any crazy worries as the night goes on. Drivers should understand what to do and when to do it even before the race gets going. Expectation is on for a one-stop strategy if, of course, we go green. Admittedly, last time we went racing saw quite a few more cautions than expected. We're hoping to keep that to a minimum tonight and let the championship competitors do their thing. The final 14 drivers have made it to the last race of 2024 for Saturday Night Thunder. We still have yet to crown a champion, and your top 3 drivers would love to figure that out by the end of this event. Two-time champ Jordan Kuntz will lead the field to green. Right alongside him, championship leader Vinny Tigner. We are green for the final time in 24. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Kuntz gets the edge into turn 1. Already one slide, Carter Casey around, caution is out. It's the 3rd time this year Casey's involved in a lap 1 incident, and again, happening in the first moments of the race. Carter Casey spinning, yellow flags out. Let's take a look back now and see perhaps what caused it with the number 8 going around. Looks like the 77 of Tyler Sevier getting the piece. Jim Thurston 3 wide, but it started with Trey Holmes and Carter Casey. Carter nearly saved after minor contact with the 88, spins down the track and collects the 77 of Tyler right there with him. So Carter Casey, just a minor driver error, gives way to the yellow flag, and we'll take a look again, this time on board with the number 8 of Casey to see what, in fact, had caused it. See him here on pit road, so let's turn back the clock, and show you what happened as they enter turn 3. Bouncing into Thurston and trying to correct it, only to overcorrect and spin the car out. Tyler ends up in the wall as well. Yellow flags out early. About half the field decides to head down to pit road as a consequence. However, your leaders, for the most part, decide to stay out. Carter Casey still on pit road here, and you can see leaders coming in. There's Ethan Burrell. There's Henry Kaloff. And as a result, now we got split strategy oh so soon. Henry going to get on his way. Number 63 going to go for a splash and go approach, and Jim Thurston will come right there with him. Trey Holmes trying to get away after avoiding that first incident. Thurston and Holmes both got contact, but nothing major, and they should be able to keep on going without any further problem. Jordan Kuntz, race leader. Vinny Tigner's in second. Alec Daffin is P3 as it stands. Caution flies to open up this event with a lap 1 incident. Jordan Kuntz is able to keep that lead. Looked like he had pretty good command of it, at least to start over Vinny Tigner, so not many concerns developing already in the 99 camp over how the race is going to go. But you can't tell off of only about 20 seconds of racing. Now the question becomes, is the strategy called someone making, including Henry Kaloff and notably Matthew Weeks, is this the right way to go? Already coming down in, trying to top off and get a little bit more fuel. Perhaps there's an opportunity for drivers to get a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 more laps on a long green flag run. And those laps add up, but this early could be the difference between lap 60 entering pit road and maybe lap 62 entering pit road. All depends on the approach and the behavior of drivers from here. If we stay green, it might not mean all too much, but it could be a major turning point if we see another yellow before the green flag pit stops. Double file, 1 lap to green. We're only missing out right now on Carter Casey, it appears. Jordan Owens is getting back with the pack, and you can see Owens right there inside of turns 1 and 2. Number 45 getting away from pit road. Chris Tripp, more of the same. So unfortunately, Carter Casey's racing might be in a little bit of a worse spot right now. 2 laps down as a result of the incident and having to go down in, take that faster pair to get back with the field. Kuntz resides on the bottom. Vinny Tigner is going to hold himself up top. Alec Daffin still stays in third, and Michael Deitch able to make some gains, putting himself in 4th place, just behind your championship leader. Kuntz is still going to be the control car, though, so as we grab the gears, it'll be Jordan leading him on the inside of turn number 1, and it looks like he's going to command that start. Tigner, more than a car length and a half back by the time they enter the first turn. Jordan Kuntz gets up and away. Alec Daffin moves into second as a result of the inside line being so strong to kick off the run. Now Vinny Tigner is going to find himself P3, still ahead of drivers including Kaloff and Matthew Weeks, but at the same time giving up what could be a critical pair of points to Jordan Kuntz. Not only does he have himself in the first position, which of course winning scores the most points, but also the fact that he's leading laps now, whereas Vinny Tigner has not yet been able to do so. So having himself further back, major disadvantage when it comes to the long-term points game that drivers have been playing all season long. Now the question becomes, do you adapt and try to go for a little bit of different approach, being aggressive, or do you let Jordan do what he's doing right now and run away from the field? Because if he runs away like this, very unlikely he'll be able to keep that pace up over the course of a 60-lap stint. Think about it here. You can't expect for the tires to not burn out when you're going that quick. Kenneth Gorell sliding down a pit road, hopefully not penalized, out of his own control. And it looks like he'll slide back up the circuit. 57 of Gurrell goes back up on the track, albeit he goes from the pit road to the circuit using the grass. Turn down at control, and the 57 now going to be all the way to the tail end of the pack in 13th. Take a rewind here, and we'll see what caused it, but it looks pretty simple. Kenneth Gurrell getting involved, and it might have just been with Jim Thurston. He was loose, Thurston was the finisher, and Gurrell ends up down on pit road and had it controlled, only to lock up once again and almost look like his second instinct was to go back up the track using the grass. And I'm not quite sure if that was the best of the decisions, and maybe would have been a little bit faster had he just used pit road. Either way, no major damage for Gurrell. If a yellow flag comes out, he should be fine to continue. Nevertheless, Kenneth Gurrell going to find himself further back now, finding himself P13, 13 seconds back on your race leader, Jordan Kuntz, who comes across the line now for lap 10. Certainly an eventful start to this race, and what could have been a second yellow flag in only our first 10 laps. Not a lot of times we see that in the SMT competition. Unfortunately, one of those nights maybe once again where the excitement of the championship race overshadows drivers performing calmly. Good way to begin the night for Jordan Kuntz, though, and Alec Daffin has been keeping Vinny Tigner at bay. Vinny almost got a shot to go around the number 48, but was not able to clear and make the pass for certain. So it looks like Daffin right now is as quick, if not quicker than Vinny Tigner, keeping him once again at bay and just behind. And Jim Thurston, for all the faults of getting involved in that incident, is still up and ahead. Number 96 right now looking to capitalize on the battle for second and maybe make the move through. Jordan Kuntz was not part of the previous Las Vegas race this year. That's the one where Thurston won. Jim did not go head-to-head with Jordan Kuntz. So this is an interesting matchup, to say the least. Jim Thurston was not able to compete directly against the 99 for the win. And so right now, Kuntz is getting the early advantage in this sort of rematch, but we know Thurston able to take the lead at the end. That's what it all comes down to. Jim, you saw him in the IORA Cup Series on Thursday night, found himself in top 5 competition in the fringes of that leading battle early on in Sonoma, which eventually became Daniel Mosteller and Joe Armstrong. Multiple drivers from IORA are in this event, and it looks like one is still championship eligible. That is Henry Kaloff for the ever-expanding Kaloff Deitch campaign. TF56 designs on the front of that number 63 whiteout tonight, and looking for what could be a first career championship for the Kaloff crew in Saturday Night Thunder. One-time former race winner, FORL Cup Series champion. For Henry Kaloff right now, the question becomes, what can he do to up the pace and get on the level of his championship contemporaries? Unfortunately for Kaloff, the problem this year has just been not getting the victory lane and being perhaps one step under the drivers that he's racing right now for the title. It doesn't really matter all too much, of course, if he does get to the lead, but for the time being, it has not been easy. Kaloff keeping himself a lone rider at the front of the field. He has teammates, but they are not championship eligible, and as a matter of fact, his teammate is the number 17 who runs right behind him as it stands. That is Michael Deitch. And Deitch also involved in that Sonoma event, and maybe the most, shall we say, remembered portion of that event coming through social media. Michael Deitch head-to-head with Joe Armstrong, although not for the race lead, but instead as a lapper. Deitch saw his race end in flames as he was punted off the circuit with 2 laps to go as a lap machine. Wrong place, wrong time for the number 17, and he ended up finishing outside of the top 15 due to that incident. Tonight looks like a rejuvenated Spirit, though, and Michael Deitch will not be denied. He's going to go at it again, and, you know, for all the issues that we've seen Michael Deitch encounter, there's one thing this number 17 team has never done. It has never quit. He went up to as high as 4th base on the pit stop strategy, started in 13th, so even though he fell back just a little bit, he has made significant gains relative to where he started, and it looks like there's no sign of him turning back the clock and heading down the order once again. Deitch looking rather confident, keeping the pace up in front. He's been running in the 7th spot for the past 5 or so laps here, so in the early going of stint number 2, Deitch is looking rather consistent. Ethan Burrell might be coming up on him, but he hasn't shown signs of any direct aggression. Ethan tonight started in 5th. He's on the down and down, but it's not a major deficit. He's only gone from 5th to 8th here, and there's a lot of time on the table for him to recover. Number 37 is going to head down to the bottom of this tri-oval again, choosing not to use the apron, although yes, he is allowed. Chris Tripp is going to be slowed down significantly because he's coming down a pit road here, and a very early call for the number 90 team. And Chris Tripp, under his own power, as you can see with minimal if any damage, has decided to head to pit road here. So he'll go another lap down. He's going to be in 13th right now, might fall to 14th, as Tripp makes his way in. And it looks like this is a call for service, only to be disconnection. So Chris Tripp out of this one. Meanwhile, side by side for the race lead, Jim Thurston up high, who is not fighting for the championship. Jordan Kuntz, however, who's looking for the title, has just seen the former king of Sin City roll right up high on him, and it looks like Thurston gets the edge. Number 99 is going to have a shot to go down low and maybe make a move, but can't quite intimidate the number 96 out the way. Jim Thurston's got the race lead, and he's got it with confidence. Lap 20, Thurston up in front. First, a new race leader of the day, Jim Thurston, able to take it there from Jordan Kuntz, and now the question becomes, how long can he run with it? Jordan Kuntz able to lead the opening stint, but now falling back down to earth. The first reminder of such a theory is that Jim Thurston has gotten up here in the last 4 laps quickly, maybe quicker than Jordan expected. Take a look at the last 4 laps in the intervals. He's gone from about a 10th and a half back to absolutely nothing from lap 15 to now, and as you can see, there's no gap any longer on these last few laps. He is the driver up on top. For Vinny Tigner, you can see over the last 4 laps, he's gotten a little bit further now from Jim Thurston. It looks like Thurston is faster than the man in the number 99, albeit he's going to be challenged quickly. Now Jordan's going to decide to head down to the bottom groove, trying to go for perhaps a double cross here. Can't quite make it stick, but they're going to be side by side, with Thurston making a minor bobble on the outside groove and making some brief contact with the outer wall. Now Jordan Kuntz got a shot. He'll take it low. Looks like Thurston's going to hold it up high and try to compromise that groove to work even with Jordan Kuntz and use the back straightaway as his biggest advantage. Down the back straight again. Yup, Thurston's got the edge. More speed just coming into the corner. And the rhythm of this race is now becoming very clear. The inside is king. Not a lot of times we see the middle or high grooves used in Las Vegas, but Thurston using them better than anyone else. That's how he gets to the lead once again. And in, of course, the last few races, Jim Thurston, he's not been present. He's been a part-time driver all throughout the year. Haven't seen him all too much this season. Saw him a little bit more last season. And so now he's taking those tricks from other series, such as the IORA Cup Series, which is planning to race in Las Vegas as a playoff event once again. So watch out, because for Thurston, this could be practice. He's a former IORA Cup Series champion and might be looking at tonight not only as a chance to go out there and win big to end the year, but also to kick off the fight for his own championship thought. And they're going to be going to Chicagoland on Thursday night, live on FTN Intermediate Racing. A lot of it is the same. Why not get to grips with it with one of the best fields on the platform? Kuntz concedes. It's practically official now, and so Alec Daffin's going to be up next looking for a shot as he got down low. Vinny Tigner making his move with Matthew Weeks. If Matthew gets by Vinny Tigner, then admittedly this number 12 will not be in a good position to win the championship outright. These 3 drivers you're looking at in Matthew Weeks, Vinny Tigner, and Jordan Kuntz are only separate by 6 points in the championship, and with Jim Thurston now leading them all, it is going to be a little bit tighter between all 3 of which means that the advantage still might be with Jordan Kuntz. Matthew Weeks, however, if he gets by the number 12, will have the advantage once again, and creeping back up on Jordan Kuntz and taking the overall championship lead. Matthew Weeks might have the best shot of all drivers here to get the job done when it comes to these big 3. We Weeks, proven to be one of the quickest drivers with raw pace, something Vinny Tigner has not been the best with. Vinny, much better when it comes to finesse and strategy. Matthew Weeks always seems to have the it factor when it comes to his pace. So if he is to win, he'll be ahead of an already latent Jordan Kuntz, who's 6 points back in the championship rather than 3. And of course, he'll have to outpace Vinny Tigner. So Matthew Weeks, the odds are with him to become perhaps a 2-time champion. And I don't think we would have predicted that at the end of the regular season last season. Now, it's a very real chance that Matthew does what he did last time around and wins with a championship finale going his way. Contact Alec Daffin. Jim Thurston goes around 2. Jordan Kuntz ends up sending the 48, and Thurston is disposed of. Caution is out. Luckily, no major damage, but major championship implications. And already another incident bringing the field back to pacing. Take a look at this. Alec was running side by side there, and it looks like Thurston clamping the 48 into Jordan Kuntz. Weeks, Tigner, Kaloff get away, and Jordan Kuntz has to pay the price significantly. And it looks like he just got bunched up given the scenario. Take a look aboard the number 99, and definitely not the best place to be. Lucky wasn't anything more severe when it comes to damage, but Daffin appeared in front of him, and he just had to get out of the way as soon as he could. From Alec Daffin's perspective. Contact, and then turn. Thurston makes a little bit of contact at the end when both are out of control. Trey Holmes might have just sideswiped the number 48 as well. Yellow flags out. Matthew Weeks proves to be your race leader and will come down to pit road as such. Leading into pit road, Jordan Kuntz, Vinny Tigner, Matthew Weeks. It looks like everyone's going to be coming down to pit road regardless of whether or not they were in that wreck. And so now we're going to see whether or not Kuntz decides to take optional damage repair, which I might have to say is the wise thing to do if it really isn't anything crazy damage-wise. Matthew Weeks, Vinny Tigner, and then you'll have Ethan Burrell, Henry Kaloff, Jordan Owens, your top 5. Alec Daffin gets going, but for Jordan Kuntz, a major setback as a result of that hit, and he's going to find himself taking all the optional repairs he can. Weeks gets back on the way as your race leader. Jordan Kuntz will get on the move as well, and it looks like it's official. He does not take his fast repair. Jordan, lucky he won't need it, and so he's going to have a second chance here without having to go to extremes. Every driver, no matter what happens to begin the race, they have that one fast repair they can use. If you use it, it completely resets the damage level on your car. However, if of course you find yourself in a situation where you've already used it, then it means you got to survive with the car you have. Any additional damage will not be reversible. And so someone like Matthew Weeks right now, or company just behind him, Tigner, Burrell, they won't have to worry. But a few drivers already have used that fast repair, notably up in the front of the field. As it stands, it looks like Alec Daffin, he already used it, and very early in fact, so Daffin can't afford to do that once again, get involved in another incident with 90 laps to go here. Easier said than done. I think Allen, of course, he's going to have to pay attention to all around him here. He was involved just by bunching up with Thurston and Kuntz, and it didn't seem like anything major until the chain reaction occurred. So, got to be a little bit more patient in the early going. Got a lot of this race still left. We'll go green very soon to prove just that. It'll be about 89 laps remaining under green from this point onward. Matthew Weeks, Vinny Tigner, and Ethan Burrell. The 1-2-3 combo at the front of the field now, 2 of which are championship eligible, and you'll see in the place of Jordan Kuntz instead, you got the 63 of Henry Kaloff. It's the highest position Henry's run inside all night long here, so Kaloff with a really good opportunity perhaps to improve his position and keep himself there. Michael Deitch's teammate falls back to 11th after running inside the bottom half of the top 10 to open up that stint, and it looks like in its place, Henry Kaloff has himself a chance at the victory here. Kaloff is 10 points back on Vinny Tigner, so even a victory might not guarantee the championship, but a victory, of course, is the best possible run this number 63 can get in this trying time. It's practically winner to go home for Kaloff here. Even if the math says otherwise, he's going to need that victory if he even wants a fair chance to go against the likes of Tigner and Matthew Weeks, who are both several points ahead of him. And, of course, you even have Vinny Tigner, who's got himself up 10 points, down to a driver like Jordan Kuntz, who is only 4 points up. Everyone, points-wise, has the edge on Kaloff. He would need that major performance or a complete fall-off from everyone else to have a justifiable shot. It's a never-say-never attitude just behind the front row, but for these two leaders, they've been here before, and they're looking to do it all over again. Enter Matthew Weeks. He'll be your race leader inside, of course, and outside, Vinny Tigner. Control car is going to be Weeks. Vinny Tigner's back where he started this race, so he's pretty familiar with that outside, looking for a better restart than his last. So it's going to be restart number 2 on the night. iRacing official pace car says good night. For now, anyway. We might see it back again. Green flag's out, and the inside once again gets a massive jump. Burrell going to be brought through with Matthew Weeks, and Vinny Tigner cannot hold a candle. Weeks with an amazing jump. Matthew Weeks hangs tight at the front of the field. He's got Ethan Burrell with them. Mind you, these two have been racing against each other and racing with each other for several years now. You might remember the 1-2-3 finish. Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks, they got on the podium racing with Jonathan Cutlip when they all came together at Richmond, and Weeks was the ringleader of that affair. These are drivers who know each other outside of just this series. They've gotten the experience all over the iRacing platform for greater than a decade now and are bringing it on Saturday nights. And that's exactly why you'll see Burrell and Weeks working so well together on that inside, on that restart. They were both able to get the same time to jump, and that's going to leave Vinny Tigner by the wayside. Matter of fact, he will give up a position to Henry Kaloff. Kaloff's going to find himself in third now, and how about that number 63? Henry getting oh so close to the driver, the number 37, Ethan Burrell. Might even have a shot for second. Almost 3 wide there. Henry Kaloff now finds himself door-to-door with Matthew Weeks as Ethan Burrell tries to take the race lead. That'll only help out Kaloff more. Henry up to the point, and of your championship leaders, the number 63 is up in front. Henry Kaloff with a shot in the arm to go ahead of Matthew Weeks. The only problem is that Vinny Tigner with that big points advantage is just behind him. Kaloff looking strong and might actually be looking for a shot at the race lead. And who's on top now? Henry Kaloff. Henry's got himself up high. Ethan Burrell down low, but it is clear right now that Kaloff is gunning for that top spot and looking for a bonus point. And if he just hangs on until the end of this lap, he will have exactly what he needs. Henry Kaloff to the front of the field and to the point. New race leader, it's official. That's the number 63. Now Vinny Tigner, a little bit of a buffer back. He's got Ethan Burrell to work through. Not going to be easy. The ball is in the court now for Henry Kaloff, but of course, Vinny Tigner coming in with that points advantage doesn't have to establish all too much from here, even being in second place with Curb, the number 63. Furthermore, Jordan Kuntz able to get ahead of Matthew Weeks. It looks like now a little bit of a problem going on for that number 11 crew fading back so fast, and the large part, the cause is just getting shaken out of that groove. Falling back on a lap time of 31.38, just a few tenths of a second slower, makes all the difference. If you're right on board right now with Matthew Weeks, you'll see what's going on in the front of the pack. Maybe going to take a more conservative approach as we come close to halfway. single file all the way through. From your leader, Henry Kaloff, down to Matthew Weeks, and even further back. Looks like no drivers have deviated from the norm. Everyone going to be put together here, and Kaloff is making major gains. This is the risk, and we've seen him do this before. This does not usually yield long-term benefits. There's a massive problem when it comes to a driver like Kaloff getting away just like this. Ethan Burrell going to eventually get back in the tow and pull him together very quickly. Most drivers are only on a 10-lap stint here, so we were expecting drivers to go the way of perhaps having a chance for 60 laps. 50 more laps here, and you go as hard as you can, trying to make something happen for 10. Long-term benefits are risky to keep if you go so aggressive just to start. You can already see it, maybe slowly but surely, a few 100ths of a second have been taking off of Kaloff's lead. Henry making a risky play, and admittedly right now, I'm not quite sure if it's the right one to make. Ethan Burrell, Vinny Tigner, Alec Daffin, Jim Thurston, all with one another right now in this major gaggle, and they're all ready to begin to catch up to Kaloff. The number 63 might have to look back just about as soon as he looks away. Notably, Burrell and Vinny Tigner coming together here. Tigner in the trail of that number 37, and using Burrell as a little bit of a draft partner, going to help out substantially, putting less work in to get up to Henry. Naturally reeling Henry Kaloff in. That's the goal for every driver right now. Jim Thurston's big goal, besides that though, is to get back up in front. Looks like he missed a little bit of time up at the head of the field, and is going to have to make some gains as he gets back up to number 48 of Alec Daffin here. Alec is going to remain ever so slightly just ahead. Jim Thurston is now about a car length back, and then you got Jordan Kuntz, the number 99 here, into turns 1 and 2 once again. Thurston has been the only driver really trying that middle groove. He's been committed to it before to make passes, and right now it looks like it's working once again. Thurston's going to look high and continue to use it through turns 1 and 2, then turn the blade down to the bottom through 3 and 4, although that time it looks like he got shut down. It looks like Alec Daffin is going to have more competition if Jordan Kuntz can only get up to Jim Thurston. Thurston's being hounded now, much like he was hounding Daffin. And we'll see whether or not Thurston folds this time by, or if the number 96 is able to hang steady. With Matthew Weeks coming through as well, the only real championship contenders up in front are Tigner and Kaloff. Right now, Henry still has about a 4/10 of a second advantage, but we don't quite know whether or not this is the way to keep on racing. He's really putting it all on the line for the here and now, but with less than 80 laps to go, there's still more than 70. We're in the in-between portion of that first and second stint. It's not a time to burn up all your stuff, but at the same time, it is, of course, right to start considering what's left for the future. Maybe Kaloff is going to bank on the caution. We've gotten a few before. It's very likely we get one again at that rate, but with Ethan Burrell coming in so close, Henry Kaloff has no choice now but to either consider to start defending or pull a few more tricks out of his sleeve and bring back the speed that we once saw from him. And that looks to slowly but surely be fading as Ethan Burrell draws nearer now. A look on board with Burrell. The gap is only 15/100ths of a second. Here comes the number 37, Ethan Burrell, looking low. Trying to become a first-time winner this season, the number 37 dives to the bottom side, and with them comes Vinny Tigner. Kaloff might have a chance to lead the lap just at the line, and he does by 7/1000ths of a second. Furthermore, though, it looks like Burrell is going to bring company down low, and Henry Kaloff officially gets shafted. The number 63 is on the high side here, and he's letting Burrell have a shot down to the bottom. Nothing yet. Ethan Burrell and Henry Kaloff still in a deadlock. It looks like it's becoming a tied game all over again. Henry Kaloff hanging on well in that second groove, although it didn't look like he was strong to start. Burrell has not yet gotten away. Coming across the line once more, advantage Kaloff by 4/1000ths, but he can't keep getting away with it on the high side, especially with the support down low. Kaloff eventually is going to have to give here unless he draws clear, but with a good run out of turn 1, that might just happen. Kaloff is considerably faster. Ethan Burrell once again puts himself in line. A massive defensive effort there from Henry Kaloff. Once again, Ethan Burrell bobbles, and it looked like an easy job has turned difficult. And that means that Vinny Tigner is now looking aboard, and he's seeing his drafting partner start to have those troubles. Maybe he's not the best to do anything more with. So Vinny Tigner, perhaps he's going to have a chance to shoot himself up high and look for a chance on his own. He'll take Ethan Burrell's position and put himself in the assault. Now, Kaloff's got to focus on the high side and the low side. Double trouble fighting for second. Henry Kaloff is going to find himself mastering both lanes. Major problem now. Henry Kaloff, of course, gets distracted by Vinny Tigner. Ethan Burrell still has a chance to make it a double pass for the number 63, but Kaloff is holding on remarkably well. 20 laps into the stint, though, still about 40 estimated to go from here. We're going to see perhaps a run under green to lap 85 up to 90 at the very most. So drivers still have a lot of time here, and a race this aggressive means that someone's going to burn their stuff out. Might not be Kaloff at the end of the day. With the way these other drivers are looking, it's very clear that the intention of someone like Vinny Tigner or Ethan Burrell is to make a pass fast. They haven't gotten there, though, and they thought maybe Kaloff would be quick with the way they reeled him back in. Nevertheless, now they're going to go for it. Alec Daffin's front end has come up, and it looks like it's put itself back together, but you saw there it was gone briefly. The lead battle is on again. Alec Daffin, maybe minor damage. Vinny Tigner, significant damage on the right side. Kaloff is now beginning to drop back to the high side. He's slower now through turns 1 and 2, and at long last, Henry Kaloff is the man that has to concede. Yes, Vinny Tigner, who has that damage on the right side and the back end, now has to concede again. Jordan Kuntz gets away, and the number 12 is fading. Henry Kaloff puts himself on the bottom, but Ethan Burrell this time looks like he's going to make it his own position once and for all. The Kaloff crew is still going to be running second, just ahead now of Jordan Kuntz. 52 laps in, a valiant effort so far from Henry Kaloff, and yet it looks like now there's a better chance than ever for the 99 to swoop in and take that progress away. Bad news for Vinny Tigner. Very bad news. That right side damage is now coming to hamper his night. Vinny Tigner, and take a look at this instant replay and it'll show you exactly what happened to the number 12. You can see the damage on the back end, and it looks like this is what caused it. As we take our replay back, we'll show you what happened. As Ethan Burrell went up high here, Vinny Tigner was trying to keep himself in the groove. Looks like maybe a little bit loose through turns 1 and 2, and he fell back. Then from there, you'll see him getting up and ahead of Alec Daffin, turned into the wall ever so slightly, and at that high speed, that is still damage to be accounted for. So Vinny Tigner right now, as we take a look up to that live feed, is still fading back. Alec Daffin got away. Henry Kaloff and Jordan Kuntz got away, but the number 12 seeing championship hopes fade as a result of one minor shunt. Alec Daffin pushing into that number 48's front bumper. There is Vinny Tigner, and Vinny is now significantly damaged. 54 laps in out of 120 so far. Ethan Burrell is now the man to beat. Henry Kaloff finds himself still second, and it's interesting to see that Kaloff is hanging on as the leading championship contender. Again, if it was a final winning you're in situation, yes, Kaloff would be the effective championship leader. However, again, he came into the night 10 points back on Vinny Tigner, and more importantly right now, when you take a look at who he's around, he came in 4 points back on Jordan Kuntz. So, tentatively speaking, Jordan Kuntz looks like he is the championship leader, and that will be solidified even so if he gets by the 63 of Kaloff, which we're watching to see right now. Gino Marrow already out of tonight's event. Vinny Tigner dropping back significantly down to 9th place. And Matthew Weeks is now going to find himself 4th, so it's going to be 2, 3, 4 for the top 3 spots in the championship battle. Vinny Tigner might not have a chance any longer, but with Henry Kaloff dropping back to Jordan Kuntz, you're about to see chaos up in the front of the field. Here comes the 99 looking for the championship lead. The underdog goes high, and the championship favorite, perhaps the former 2-time champ, goes down to the bottom. Jordan Kuntz is not yet won of the Grand National Series era. He's done so multiple times over with the trucks, and yet when it comes to these Xfinity cars, he has only been barely denied in its 2 seasons existence. Jordan Kuntz and Matthew Weeks went head-to-head last season in Atlanta. The cause of that battle, well, it was a final situation in the playoffs where both drivers advanced for a win-and-you're-in scenario, and it looked like Matthew Weeks was just the man to beat, and that he proved to be. Vinny Tigner, Jordan Kuntz and company all fought for the title on that day, but it was really Kuntz and Weeks. Jordan decided to go for a risky tire strategy with 2 laps to go, only went for 2 tires to gain the advantage on track, and still, Matthew Weeks clawed him down and took the championship in the last moments of our Atlanta season finale earlier this year. As a new season started, Jordan Kuntz once again got off to a hot start. Matthew Weeks was quick to follow. And if it's going to be that number 11 getting by Henry Kaloff, I think we once again see a deadlock championship. The advantage might be again in Matthew Weeks' favor. The one big problem when it comes to Matthew Weeks and his racing situation here, it all comes down to bonus points. He has 7 laps led relative to Jordan Kuntz. Kuntz right now has 18, and he might have that bonus locked up for the most laps led on the day if he can just get back up there to Burrell and gain a few more. 50 laps, of course, automatically locks you in for the extra points and leading the most laps. However, right now for Jordan Kuntz, it looks like that is not yet going to be guaranteed. 60 laps in, he's led about a third of the race so far. Not a bad metric by any means, but it still means there's a lot more work to go to lock up those extra final points. Henry Kaloff finds himself even still on the high side. And Matthew Weeks still stays low, trying to go in as the caution flies. Yellow flag is out. Alec Daffin and Trey Holmes, and the latter gets away. Alec Daffin looks destroyed. Caution's out. And another replay for yellow flag number 3 exactly at the halfway point. This will fully reset your tire game. We'll take a look now with Alec Daffin and Trey Holmes. Alec was ahead at the time of incident, and it looks like perhaps similar to what happened with Daffin and Trey Holmes. Huge hook up to the top of the track. Daffin ends up going spinning in the air for a 360, and Trey Holmes, he goes for a 360 on the ground. Caution's out. Here's a look on board with the number 88. And we'll take a quick look back as you'll see Alec Daffin go spinning ahead of Holmes. Minor contact, major incident. So the yellow flag is out again. Leaders are now going to be coming down to pit road, and it's going to be a full reset of the strategy situation. The cause of which, well, it's about the halfway point of this race. It's exactly the halfway point of this race. 60 laps in, 60 laps to go. It's really a sprint from here to the checkered flag, and as a result, this might be one of the most important pit stops of the season, if not the very most. There's Jordan Kuntz making his way in. He's going to be jousting against Vinny Tigner. He got his damage repaired automatically. He decides to use the fast repair, hedging his bets that he'll get away from trouble for the rest of the day. So we'll see if that works out. Meanwhile, the man leaving first, Kuntz, clearly. Jordan Kuntz beating out Ethan Burrell, Henry Kaloff, Matthew Weeks, Jim Thurston, Jordan Owens. Then you'll have finally Kenneth Gurrell and Vinny Tigner, with Sevier and Deitch concluding the top 10. So Jordan Kuntz once again gets out advantageous. A little bit of time before we go green flag racing. 59 laps to go. We'd like to thank our partners and associates live on FTN Broadcasting for bringing the coverage to you. We'll return. We, of course, are going to do so before we go green, so stay tuned with us. On the right side of your screen, you'll see the pacing, and we'll bring you back for all the racing action. We just passed the halfway marker. We'll go for some brief non-stop coverage, and we'll be right back after this. You're watching the 2024 Championship Finale of SNT on FTN.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arkham Menard. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
.57 laps remaining, and beyond the halfway marker here in your final race of the Saturday Night Thunder calendar year. Jordan Kuntz and Ethan Burrell are once again your top two, and everyone's back in the playing field after Vinny Tigner gets his full repairs. And it looks like now all four of your remaining championship competitors still have a decent shot. Alec Dafflin's going to find himself 4 laps down. Trey Holmes is going to find himself down and out. So, time to go once again. Green flag's gonna fly. Jordan Kuntz, your pole sitter, is the control car. So far, hoping a good grip over this race, and now looking to lead more than 20 laps on the day. Remember, every driver from here can make it to the end without an additional pit stop. We might not see any more worries about hunting down and in. This could be it when it comes to strategy. iRacing official pace car ducks down low, and that gives a chance for Jordan Kuntz to bring the field back to green. Major jump for the number 99, Henry Caloff, and Burrell prove even, and we're back on our way with now 56 laps left. Jordan Kuntz is going to be now ahead by about 0.4 of a second. Meanwhile, Thurston already putting the pressure on Henry Caloff, trying to get himself up into the leading fight. Thurston does not have anything else to race for besides the checkered flag, and so far he's done a wonderful job of putting himself in good situations, but he just hasn't put the execution all in order just yet. He's already won at this track this year, so if there's anyone who's going to do it, it might just be the driver who's looking to do it once again. Right now, it looks like the odds are ever in his favor to at least give it a fair shot, but there's no telling what someone like Henry Caloff is going to do. Caloff looking for the race lead once again, and a very ambitious Henry Caloff looking to take the race lead, and that he does. This will be Caloff's 16th lap led on the night, and so he's going to be out there jousting with Jordan Kuntz for that extra bonus point. He's going to take it from Jordan, at least briefly, and now comes Thurston trying to put himself in the fight with both. And Caloff tonight is having the best race he's run all season long, and he needs it tonight, and he knows he needs it tonight. So hence you're seeing a little bit of a different animal coming out of that number 63. Right now, well, it's better than what we've seen all season long. As it stands, Henry Caloff just barely leading. Jordan Kuntz at the line on the outside, though, going to have a fair shot at leading the lap. And by only a few 100ths of a second, he does again. So it's a joust that still remains slightly in the favor of the number 99. Jim Thurston is now going to draw back and give these top two drivers a chance to fend against one another. Kuntz now solely ahead. Caloff drops back to second. Henry's going to remain P2 here, and it's going to be rather close. Take a look at how close he gets up to that back bumper each and every time. Jordan Kuntz has to be looking back right now, and there's no other doubts besides what happens here with Kaloff. He's the big wild card. The drivers don't know how risky he'll get for a championship, because tonight he has the pace and he also has the movement. Up top goes the number 63, and he's got himself leading with Jordan Coots now more than a car length behind. Talk about unbelievable. Kaloff is again ahead, and right now with all the bonus points he's trying to put together, he might be dead even. Neck and neck with the number 99 for the championship. Came second in the Schumacher Racing League Championship this year. Won the FORL Cup Series Championship earlier this year as well. Kaloff has racked up his accolades, but now to end the year in December, well, I'm sure he would like to go out with one final bang, a win, and with 50 laps to go, it could be a championship win. Remains to be seen. Now Kaloff jetting away. If Thurston gets in between him and, of course, the number 99, it could be Kaloff overall alone at the top of the championship pylon. Matthew Weeks is right now in 6th, and admittedly, that is dismal given where he needs to be. Top 5 pace is necessary for the driver, but it looks like as the night's gone on, Matthew Weeks has not adapted well to the long form of this race. Conditions have ever so slightly changed. Track temperature is a little bit higher right now, coming in at 91 degrees Fahrenheit, but the rest of our conditions are exactly identical to when we began the race. So Matthew Weeks, unless he's got very sensitive tires or he's been driving them especially hard, that shouldn't be anything to worry about. It just looks like right now he does not have the pace up in front to really give a good shot, which is detrimental for a man who absolutely came and rocked the field last season. Because right now it looks like all that energy has been stripped out of him. He started these first 35 laps as strong as can be. Over the next 30 or so of which that we've gotten to this point, he really hasn't had that energy. And right now for Matthew Weeks, I don't know if he's going to get it back in time, because time's running out. 49 to go, make it 48 laps remaining. Henry Kaloff is leading now by more than a second. It's the biggest gap he's had all night long. Is everyone else waiting intentionally? Can't tell. Are they waiting to try and get back to him and reel him in, or do they simply not have the pace? I can't imagine right now Jordan Coots is laying off, but I also can't imagine that he's going to go full on to chase Kaloff, given what we've seen before. It's not often that Kaloff gets away and stays away. We've seen him many times prior do this, where he just gets that jump and keeps it moving. But right now, don't think that's the best way to go. 47 laps remaining. Jim Thurston's going to find himself P3, Vinny Tigner P4, Matthew Weeks P5. And although the battle for the championship also might be at a standstill right now, the battle for Jim Thurston's win also going to find himself deadlocked. He finds himself between Tigner and Jordan Coots, nowhere near the race lead where he absolutely needs to be. There's no other thing on the line, no other prize on the line, shall we say, for the 96 besides a victory. He wants to be the lone man at the top step tonight, and even if he can't celebrate with a championship, he would like to celebrate with the checkered flag. Third place for Thurston, not a bad way to end the season, but I'm surely expecting to see a little bit more of that tenacity and the aggression out of the 96 in these last moments. No reason not to go for it for Thurston, but that's of course only if he has the pace. Right now he's still almost 2 seconds behind Kaloff and no major gains over the last 5 laps. Alec Dafton going to retire, call the season, and it looks like he's going to be moving on to 2025. 12th place as it stands and 16 laps down. Just about the same situation as Trey Holmes retired, and unfortunately both of which out for the campaign. Ending this season prematurely, the rest of the field is still going 11 drivers strong with now 44 laps to go. Yeah, now we're starting to see the gains. It looks like Jordan Coots is slowly but surely reeling in Henry Kaloff once again. Over the last 4 laps, you see that peak of about 1.6 seconds, and then you start to see the draw back in. And over the last 2 laps, notably, it's been very, very pronounced. 75 to 76. That's a gap of nearly 2/10 diminished. Yeah, Jordan Coots right now is definitely making his way up. And it looks like he's doing so a little bit stronger each and every time by. That time around, it's a 1.2 flat, so slight gain. But if Henry Kaloff is to make any additional mistakes, you might see that slight gain become a massive one here. Kaloff is known for doing this, and unfortunately, it's going to work against him right now. He is not a tire manager by trade. He's been doing great on these short runs. He is the short run driver today, perhaps, but not the long run. And that long run is where you really control the event. Right now for Kaloff, that's not something he has full control over when you get a sprint. Can't cause a caution intentionally, and he can only hope for one. But when it goes long and it stays long, he is not the fastest driver, which means as it stands, there's not really a best case scenario for Kaloff, perhaps. He might have to just continue waiting and hoping for a yellow flag because the gap is diminishing significantly here. Jordan Coots is getting close, and if you ride on board with driver telemetry, you'll see how real that threat is becoming for the back end of the 63. Jordan Coots has been very delicate with his use on the brakes. You can see driver telemetry estimates have shown full throttle down the straightaways, of course, and really not deciding to use the brakes. He's letting the car do the work instead of decelerating with force. He'll just let the car carry through the corners. Henry Kaloff's telemetry might be a little bit different. We're riding on board right now to see. And one thing we're hearing subtly is that Kaloff is definitely sliding the tires here. We're going to take a look, still stay on board, listen through turns 1 and 2, and try to hear a tire squeal. The more you hear that aggravating screeching sound, the worse of a job you're doing with tire management. And hence, when you take a listen on Jordan's on board, you don't hear it. A little bit more pronounced that time by, but that's because you can see he's even getting on the throttle now through the corners, trying to use every ounce of that draft, and he's there. 38 laps to go. Gap between race leaders is now within 1/10 of a second once again. If Coots is to grab the race lead here, he'll once again be on top of the championship pylon, and it looks like it's going to be side by side with a major momentum advantage with the 99. Jordan Coots takes the race lead. Kaloff, no choice right now but to sit and watch as the 99 barrels through him. Wonderful job there for Jordan Coots. He's going to make his way by and find himself up on top. 37 laps to go, with Vinny Tigner running 4th, Matthew Weeks running 5th, and Henry Kaloff running in 2nd. Coots is in one of the ideal positions for the 99 team to win the championship based on bonus points. Right now, again, let's talk about the laps led bonus. 25 laps led out of 84 so far for Coots, 30 out of 84 led for Kaloff. Vinny Tigner, none so far. Matthew Weeks, 7 laps led. Right now, that bonus point goes to Henry Kaloff. If the race ended right now, he would grab the point. If the race ends after lap 90, it's going to end at lap 120. But hypothetically anyway, Jordan Coots, if he keeps the lead, would bag up another extra bonus point, and that might be the difference between Kaloff and Coots for the championship here. So with 36 laps to go, Coots, and a clutch time, gets the lead right back, and now he's finding himself up and again in the advantage. 27 laps in so far. Big question becomes whether or not Jordan Coots now can hang on, and maybe he'll have to fend off someone like the 96 who's just behind now. And with Thurston coming through, he gets by Henry Kaloff. Only one driver in Jim's way. That's your current race leader, the number 99. Thurston does not have to worry about championship implications. The checkered flag is the end goal, and the destination is that final lap. Now, Thurston's got the room. He's within a half second, and he's bringing multiple drivers, including Tigner and Matthew Weeks, with him. Reminder for Kalof's championship circumstance: if he falls behind more than one of his championship adversaries, he cannot mathematically win the championship. So, as he falls back behind Vinny Tigner right here, it means unless he gets back in front of the number 12, no chance for him to come away with the championship. Bad news there for the number 63, but the race is not over. That's not a final assumption. There's still a chance he gets back up there by the time the race concludes. And if Vinny Tigner gets back in a second, we might be seeing a real dogfight between those two, Tigner and Jordan Kuntz. Jordan, again, came in with a big disadvantage, actually fourth in the points to enter this race, whereas Vinny Tigner was the man up and in front, the leading dog in this fight. And as a result, well, he's got himself the best position not only to win today with this race that he's had all night long anyway. He only led 7 laps early, but the championship is back in play. If he's faster than Jim Thurston, there might just be a shot for him to get ahead of the 96. That time by, he was about a tenth of a second quicker, and if he gets faster than Thurston, he might be the next man to put pressure on Jordan Kuntz. And the championship fight might just reset in full. 32 laps to go, though, and Thurston proves to be the big roadblock for the number 12. And if he gets by, then it's a dogfight once again, dead even between two of the best drivers all season long, linked up together in one pack. That's how it's been since the jump. Now we're starting to see minor spread out, but still, Tigner, Weeks, and Kalof are separated by only about 0.5 of a second. You see a second group get together here. Carter Casey, after that lap 1 incident, is in a much better spot than where he began the night. He was 3 laps down. Now he finds himself 3 seconds down on your leader. So great to see that continued improvement for the driver of the number 8. Looks like maybe a chance to go all the way for even a top 5 if he is to get lucky. Henry Kalof is falling back. He's getting closer to the drivers, of course, including Owens and Burrell. So Carter Casey might be able to bounce back from a horrible start to what could be a not only tolerable, but an absolutely wonderful performance. Carter Casey, I would say perhaps one of the more underrated drivers in this series, doesn't have a full-time campaign to back him. He's missed a few races and misfortune has taken him otherwise. He is known, unfortunately, for that lap 1 incident tendency he has, but usually they aren't egregious wrecks. This time around, he just found some minor contact and ended up wrecking. So maybe next year the luck factor maybe helps out Carter Casey more than it's harmed him this year. I might see a little bit more of that number 8. Burrell is now going to go down and into the number 45. Ethan Burrell, Jordan Owens, toe-to-toe all over again. 29 laps to go, another side-by-side fight. It's still for P6. 28 laps remaining. Last stretch for Matthew Weeks and Vinny Tigner. Matthew right now, as we take a look at our championship standings again, comes in 3 points behind Vinny Tigner. So if he is to be ahead of Vinny Tigner at the end of the night, he's got himself a chance for second in the championship standings, almost guaranteed. If he gets up to second place in this race, Vinny Tigner, of course, he's going to find himself maybe second in the championship standings, and Jordan Kuntz would have to look back and be a little bit more worried because Matthew Weeks comes in with an edge over that 99 crew, comes in with a 3-point advantage over Vinny, and of course that 7-point advantage over Henry Kalof, who has fallen back now to a lonely 5th place. So Vinny Tigner right now knows his position is especially valuable, even if right now he doesn't have the race lead. He's got the trailing, of course, of Jim Thurston, the 96, who's looking just to go out here, win, and make it the end of it. And he's got Matthew Weeks, who wants that spot desperately, and if he gets it, it might just be Matthew's championship to lose. And here comes the number 11, taking it down to the bottom groove, and he will take that spot without hesitation. Tigner didn't even have to offer. He just got it taken from him. And a quick clutch pass for Matthew Weeks. Still not in the best spot to win the championship, but that is a critical step up from where he was beforehand. Now, getting Vinny Tigner out of the way, next up on the pylon is still Jim Thurston. Thurston's a half second back on Jordan Kuntz, has not made any gains over the last 4 laps. Actually, you could say he's maybe lost a little bit. Looking at driver telemetry, he has been especially consistent. Lap times have been coming in at about the 32.5 second range. That time by actually 8/100ths of a second quicker then the number 99, and maybe a chance to reset the clock and restart the battle with the 96 having a favor in pace. Still can't say for certain, but as Jim Thurston comes across the line, the gap is once again just over a half second. Time will tell if he's got what it takes. Number 11 Matthew Weeks remains third. Fourth place remains Vinny Tigner. Henry Kaloff might see a little bit of a fight coming through because here comes Ethan Burrell. Burrell is looking to end the campaign with the top 10, and where better to take it but in the final laps of this event. Can't wait for much longer. Ethan Burrell is starting to drive deeper into the corners, inside and out. Henry Kaloff is going to start looking back, but he's definitely got shredded tires. He ran way too aggressive to start, and now, unfortunately, he's paying the consequence. 23 laps remaining in this year's SNT competition. 2 great seasons of racing come down to your final 22 laps, and with 22 to go, we're going to crank it up with our partners at TrackCams22.com, iRacing's leading broadcast camera provider with network TV level quality all throughout the iRacing platform. Visit TrackCams22.com or Facebook.com/TrackCams for additional information. We're going to be right back after we crank it up and get loud with 22 laps to go. You're watching our championship finale for the 2024 B season. Let's crank it up from Las Vegas. .16 laps remaining. With time counting down, here's the official look at the championship picture. Jordan Kuntz is ahead of Vinny Tigner by 3 positions here. First to fourth, that's the gap right now. With that being said, Vinny, finding himself that far behind, does not have the edge any longer over Jordan Kuntz. Matthew Weeks is running in third right now. He started only 1 point ahead of the number 99. As a result, he started 3 points ahead. As a result, though, due to Jordan Kuntz getting these bonus points for pole position and leading laps, and tentatively speaking, he does have the lead most laps award under his belt. He will officially lock that up if he just hangs on for 3 more laps. Kuntz has the championship lead. Barely, yes, but he has the championship lead, and he just needs to hang on and fend off Jim Thurston. Matthew Weeks might not even be the most important guy right now to battle against. Thurston might just be the catalyst for championship change. If the number 96 at all threatens Kuntz's lead, just by racing him up there, we're going to see a major reaction. We might see an overreaction. When we ended our championship racing in the Truck Series, Season 5 in SNT, it was Alec Daffin, Vinny Tigner, Jordan Kuntz, all in one gaggle. And when they came together, only one driver got out. It was, of course, Jordan Kuntz. He got out by luck, sheer luck. The other 2 drivers, Tigner and Daffin, ended up wrecking out of the race on the final lap. For Jordan Kuntz, he was on the losing side of that end earlier this year when Matthew Weeks bested him in a 2-lap shootout for the championship. Now, under green with 13 laps to go, Thurston's in the wall. Jim Thurston's gonna bow out a second and might have just given away his shot for the win. Oh, what a moment for Jim Thurston. Luckily, he's not racing for the championship. It's not an end-of-the-world moment, but at the same time, horrible there for the 96, the driver who certainly should have been able to make something more of that brief moment up top. Maybe rip the top side, get some momentum, but no. Exactly the opposite. Instead, well, it looks like this time around, Thurston's going to have a disadvantage of falling back and tapping the wall. Yellow flag, of course, not going to fly. He gets away, but that leaves it all down to these 2 once again. Matthew Weeks, Jordan Kuntz. We've seen this story many times before, but once again, it's for a championship. For Weeks, if he's able to get up on top of Jordan Kuntz here, it would be for his 2nd consecutive championship. For Jordan Kuntz, it would be his 3rd in 4 years. Which accolade is more impressive? I find it hard-pressed to decide because Matthew Weeks has stormed onto the scene like it's been nothing. He's been with us since 2022, but he's become a real championship contender over the course of this last year. So perhaps there's a shot for the driver of the number 11. Matthew Weeks to do the impossible and go for that 2nd consecutive title. It was a major upset to beat Jordan Kuntz last season. He was able to do so 3 wins compared to Jordan's 5. He got those 3 wins in the final 5 races of the season when it mattered most. So, with that being said, it's all about the clutch versus the consistency. The do or die versus taking it 1 step at a time. The win now versus the win overall. And it looks like sometimes those 2 things come together. That's what this championship is for. 10 laps to go. Jordan Kuntz with a minor advantage here of only 1/10 of a second. Matthew Weeks gets up on his back bumper, and again, minor contact could be the be-all, end-all. Jordan does not want to get tapped. I'm sure Matthew doesn't want to tap him out of the way. Don't want to see dirty driving at this point, but Matthew Weeks has to explore all options. Last time these 2 drivers went at it side by side for a race victory, it was Pocono. It was an amazing finish first and foremost because they ended up keeping it clean, but it was just barely Jordan Kuntz who came out on top. What happened for him was he ended up sliding out of the tunnel turn and went nearly into the apron through Milwaukee, which is turn 3. And when that happened, he barely came up the track, blocked perfectly Matthew Weeks, and he won by 59 1/1000ths of a second. It was a close margin, the closest non-superspeedway margin of the season. And now with 8 laps to go, we might see a direct replica of that finish all over again. Jordan Kuntz so far has been end over end the statistically strongest driver of the year once more. He's been able to capture that accolade a few times in a row, and it proves to be the exact same situation. For Jordan Kuntz, let's talk about that overall performance in 2024. Alongside his 5 wins in our first season, he's been able to come away with a total of 5 wins this season as well. With that said, he has been on top of the world, 10 total wins this season, and 8 top 5s, 8 top 10s in just this season alone. He's been the year-over-year most successful driver. He's found victory lane the most of all, and his win rate at the end of the campaign, it's going to be 10 starts and at least 5 wins. If he wins tonight, it's his 6th of the season, which would mean more than a 50% victory rate. Matthew Weeks, he's gotten close. He's got more top 10s with 9 and as many top 5s with 8, but only 1 win. 4 wins on the season so far for Matthew Weeks. This would be his 5th of the year overall, shall we say. So this is going to be critical. Every moment matters. If Matthew gets ahead of Jordan, I believe he gets the slight advantage in points. They'll be tabulated officially. Right now, Kuntz has the edge. If he hangs on, he wins the title. If he does not, Matthew Weeks is going to be there. Jordan Kuntz goes high, blocking into the grass. Kuntz spins, collects Matthew Weeks. Yellow flag is out. Your 2 top championship contenders wreck each other. Matthew Weeks is destroyed. Jordan Kuntz is destroyed. We are going to overtime, and your last 2 champions slim to none chance of coming back. Wow. I don't think there's enough time. I don't know if they have the track position. Take a look one more time. Mind you, neither of which have used their faster pairs. They can get away, if necessary, with using it. Weeks, contact with Kuntz. Kuntz comes up the track, both destroyed, cautions out. Here's a look on board with the number 11 of Matthew Weeks. Just showed you Kuntz first. Here's Matthew's perspective. What really did it was the pointy nose on that Toyota Supra. The manufacturers do have different front ends, and it looks like getting pointed off of the front of that number 11 is what caused the incident. That's the difference maker. So we'll go live once again. Weeks, my goodness, lost full control there. We're parked. And so your eyes are not deceiving you. The entire field is at a standstill right now as we try to figure out what to do from here. So as we take this pause, you're watching live on FTN and our friends at iRacing Motorsport Simulations. Well, the best deal of the year. 50% off on a Black Friday sale as the field sees the iRacing pace car go by. iRacing is the world's leading virtual motorsports simulator. And now there's the cheapest offer to get in the game with 50% off memberships, brand new, and 25% off renewal subscriptions. That means everyone gets involved. Everyone has a chance to benefit. It's a discount of the year. Check it out at iRacing.com/Black Friday. We'd love to see you on the iRacing platform, and you can join us in any of our FTN broadcasted races. You're watching live on FTN as the 2024 championship finale for SNT comes to a close under overtime. We'll be right back after this, explaining all our overtime rules. You're watching SNT. We'll be back after a message from our friends at iRacing.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. race against the computer, or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The field heads to pit road one final time. Everyone comes together. There's Jordan Kuntz, there's Vinny Tigner. Now to see who wins the race off pit road, and this is critical. It's the final pit road run of the campaign, and here comes the number 11. Matthew Weeks comes out in ahead. Vinny Tigner, Jim Thurston, Ethan Burrell come through. Jordan Kuntz mired back in 8th. Huge difference. Henry Kaloff finds himself P7, and it looks like Kuntz reshuffled up to 6th, but Vinny Tigner holds the overall advantage in this race. Matthew Weeks came out first, and that's because he's 1 lap down. Caution's out once again, and this should be the final time on the night. Reminder, overtime procedure goes as follows. We have 3 attempts to extend this race. This is the first of which means we're pushing beyond lap 120 and going until we end under green. If the yellow flag comes out at any point, we'll extend the race once again for your second overtime attempt. If it does not, then that simply means that we're going to end up finishing this race under green. The white flag is official. No matter what happens when it comes out, the race is over. So, Matthew Weeks now gets on the way, gets back on the lead lap. Vinny Tigner leading and winning would clinch him the championship no matter what. Jim Thurston winning over Vinny Tigner in second would clinch Vinny Tigner the championship no matter what. Ethan Burrell winning over both of which would still have Vinny Tigner advantageous, and Jordan Owens, all 3, of course, Thurston, Burrell, Owens getting ahead would still clinch Vinny the championship. He has a massive buffer right now. Then you have to go back to 6th and 7th to find Kuntz and Henry Kaloff. The chips have fallen perfectly for Vinny Tigner. Top championship opposition have wrecked each other. The caution comes out with only 2 laps to go. He just has to survive 3 miles for a championship. The odds are in his favor. No doubt about that. Additionally, the Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport program would like to come away with their first win of the season and make it 2 consecutive victories here in SNT at Las Vegas. Thurston now has a firm shot for that. Watch out for that 96 to be a rocket ship in the final 2 laps of the season. Tigner just has to survive. Thurston just wants to win. Green flag's out for Vinny Tigner. He'll get up and away, and he'll lead the field with now only 2 laps remaining. Kuntz goes up top, already looking for a chance to go 3 wide. Jordan Kuntz going to keep it topside, 3 wide. You got Kenneth Gorell just behind. Matthew Weeks effectively out of the title running. Now Ethan Burrell, finding himself in second place, is ahead of the 96. Thurston tries to shunt him out of the way. No luck so far. Ethan Burrell wants to be the lone driver, fighting against Tigner for the win. 1 lap to go. Final lap this season. If Vinny holds on to win, it's his championship. White flag is out. Jim Thurston now heads down to the bottom. Reminder, Thurston is not championship eligible. He just wants to win this race. Here comes the 96 down low. Jim Thurston now with a shot in the arm. Ethan Burrell a shot lower. Will go 3 wide for the lead. Jim Thurston in the middle just barely holds his own. The 96 will become a 2-timer in Las Vegas. Checkered flag is out in Sin City. Thurston hits the jackpot. Your championship winner finishes just behind him. And the grand prize of all, champion in 2024, Vinny Tigner, wins the 2024B championship title. Consistency proves key. We're waiting on the official evaluation, but according to the points and the standings, it looks like the number 12 gets the job done. Vinny Tigner, pending official confirmation, is your champion. Tigner parks it. He has not yet started his celebration. Your race winner in Thurston, however, has started in 11th, did not set a qualifying time, and what a victory for Jim. We knew he had the pace, he's done it before, and he just did it again. 2 straight wins in Las Vegas, here in SNT. How about that consistency for Thurston? Meanwhile, your championship winner is currently verifying the results. Unofficially speaking, Vinny Tigner is your champion for 2024B. If the burnout begins, we'll know it's official. Race results go as follows. Jim Thurston wins from Vinny Tigner. 78 thousandths of a second is the difference. Ethan Burrell comes home in 3rd. Carter Casey, P4. 5th place is Jordan Owens, and Henry Kaloff gets away in 6th with Kenneth Gorell 7th. 8th place in Jordan Kuntz. 9th in Tyler Sevier. And then you've got Michael Deitch, P10. And Vinny Tigner just pulled himself off the track, interestingly enough. 11th place is then going to be Matthew Weeks. 12th place, Alec Daffin, Trey Holmes in 13th, and Chris Tripp, P14, at the end of the night's events. Unbelievable performance by all those involved. What a race and what a season. Still waiting on the official word as Vinny Tigner is now back on the track, and the number 12 is still there waiting for the celebration to begin. Still unofficially speaking, Vinny Tigner wins the championship this season over Henry Kaloff, Jordan Kuntz, Matthew Weeks, and Gino Merrill. Started 2nd, finished 2nd, and his consistency is key. We'll just wait to see the burnout. We're expecting to see a celebration, and right now, just confirming everything is in order. We'll hear from your top 3 finishers after the fact as well, so stay tuned for that, as we'll get your final interviews for the night. Vinny Tigner, going to be coming in as your 2nd place finisher and as your champion. Jim Thurston, Ethan Burrell also involved. They're going to be your 1st and 3rd place finishers, respectively. And there we have it. Vinny Tigner beginning his burnout. It's official. He is your champion for 2024B. Vinny Tigner, 2-time winner this year and a big winner to end 2024. Champion in Las Vegas. And now for the double burnout. Well, the motor blows rather quick on that celebration, but Vinny Tigner more than earns it. Perhaps an underdog coming in, but he played the system just right. Checkered flag is his. Vinny Tigner is your race winner and collects the victory tonight here in Las Vegas. What a way to end the campaign. Jim Thurston, of course, your race winner, but first and foremost, we'll talk to the man that clinches the championship when all is said and done. Vinny Tigner, his first ever SNT title, and it comes in a dramatic form with our 2nd straight championship overtime finish. Let's hear now from Vinny Tigner, the number 12, and we'll talk to your championship winner first and foremost. Victory at long last in the championship, Vinny. You came in with the minor points advantage, but the chips fell exactly where they needed to for you to win and come out on top. Victory at long last in the title, and what a way to do it.
Oh man, that was eventful. Man, I don't even know what to say here. That was geez. that was interesting to say the least. I don't even know where to begin here, but I guess I'll start with the other persons of the race here. Where I was running up front with these guys, and I felt like I was doing my thing and taking care of my tires, and then I think about halfway, Alec gave me the bump draft down the back straight, and I completely creamed the wall, and I had wheel damage, but thank God I had the fast repair. So I was still in it, and I was right there with Jordan and Matthew and James, and I felt like once I got around James, I was inching closer to Matthew and Jordan there at the end. Um, I was just waiting for them to like really race hard, and this way I didn't have to use up my stuff too much to get to them, and uh, they were slowly backing up to me, and then chaos unfolded on the front stretch. That was unfortunate. Really hate how that ended. I wish we could have, battled it out to the end, but guess still worked out for me. But usually, I like to race hard for it. But I'll take it.
And once again, oh so close to what could have been, of course, for a green flag run. Overtime finish, second straight season. We've seen that to end the campaign. This time, though, you found yourself in a real good position just by building up. It was a 2-race championship finale. You came in with a 3-point advantage. How important do you feel that was?
Oh, that was a huge advantage, even though as little as that was. But um, I knew it was going to be tight still. I was trying to lead a lap early on and to get myself an extra point there and pad in that lead, but I did try to take it from Henry, and shout out to Henry too. He did a hell of a job tonight. It was cool to see him up front with us. And I tried to get around him. I had a good, pass set up for him, and then I got sideways a little bit. I think it was in 3 and 4, and hurt my chances. And then Ethan got around me, and then that's when Alec, popped me in the back there on the back straight. So, um, yeah, but points were very critical tonight. Obviously, Jordan getting the pole, and I was close to that as well. But I guess still got it at the end.
And finishing off this season strong, what a way to win it. Playing the playoffs as well as they've been all year round. Vinny, you've been with us for quite a while here. Your first ever championship. Now how does it feel to look forward to 2025 and maybe a chance to even defend it?
It feels great. Yeah, like you said, I've been doing this for a little bit now, and I've come close. I made the championship 4 a bunch of times now. I think every time I've uh, been a part of a league, or this league, and yeah, it feels great. Finally, to cap that off, and now I go on to next year and try to defend it.
Vinny Tigner, champion to end 2024 with a second place finish here in Las Vegas. Any final comments and messages you'd like to give after your major win?
Of course, I want to start with you, and thank you for everything you've done. You do a hell of a job. Hope you can stick with us for next season as well. And thanks to the guys that stuck with us again this season. There's a lot of guys that have been with us since we started, and it's awesome to see those guys stay with us, and all the new guys that have joined. The car count obviously isn't where I want it to be, but that's just how things go. And hope we can grow this league a little bit more into the future. And thanks for hopefully we put on the show tonight, and hopefully those got to enjoy the show tonight.
Vinny Tigner, champion at long last and a runner-up finish here in Las Vegas. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Tigner on the way. We'll speak to your race winner, the number 96 of Jim Thurston, who at long last pulls it back into victory lane. 2 wins this year for Thurston and SNT, both of which came in Las Vegas, and you end the year back again on top.
Yeah, we came in here, just saw it was Vegas again, and I was like, all right, we'll go out and try to win another one. And yeah, we definitely did it. Not easy, but yeah, I'm just glad to get the win done here. And yeah.
And you mentioned it was a pretty close fight between you and all the championship contenders here, but we knew you had one trick in your back pocket. You didn't care about the championship. For you, the prize was the victory. So we saw, of course, that final overtime run. You raced as hard as you could, but even overall, you were giving those drivers real good runs until the job was done. So how was it for you knowing the checkered flag was the only goal?
Yeah, I mean, we came into the race with the only intention of winning it. We didn't come here just to ride around. I mean, that's what I do every race I do, but sometimes we don't have a choice. But here, I knew I had enough in the skill department to actually race for the win, and I did that pretty well. I think we should have been in the lead a little bit earlier. We shouldn't have had to let the two championship guys wreck each other out to get to the lead. I had a really good shot of just passing Kuntz straight up, but I went and I made a bad move towards the top, not really understanding how dirty it was on that lane, and it just kind of ran over some marbles, got tight, and took off into the wall. And after that, the car wasn't really the same ever again on that run, but we got that yellow there with them wrecking out, and I think I just kind of took advantage of Vinny trying to be a little bit conservative and not wreck out because he had that championship on lock at that point. But yeah, I just pulled a Riley Herbst right there and just went and took the win anyway.
And a major victory, perhaps just to build some momentum for what's next to come. We know you're still competing in the IORA Cup Series Championship, perhaps taking some notes. It's a good field here, but definitely different from last time you had to go out for the win in Las Vegas. Notably, Jordan Kuntz present for this one, Matthew Weeks, Tigner, all of which at the front of the field. How was it racing in Las Vegas again? This time maybe with a little bit of a different group of drivers.
Yeah, the hard thing with this car really is just that you have to really have guys that want to race clean to have good racing. With the net code that it has and like just the way that it acts with contact with one another, you can't really have super close dirty racing. It just ends up in a wreck whether you want it to or not. So it's just good to finally have some racing in this car that doesn't end up in me getting right hooked into the wall. But I mean, clearly other people will still race hard and do the same thing. I think that that's just a competition standpoint, and I think that it's something that iRacing needs to fix with the car, and maybe some driver etiquette that needs to be improved, maybe on my end and some others' ends. But we still ended up pulling it off here, and clearly I'm not that bad at tire saving because I can still do it if I just put my mind to it and focus up a little bit. We just gotta do a little bit more.
And everything works out for that victory tonight. Jim Thurston ending 2024 with the bang. Any final thoughts to wrap up the year?
Just thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports. Congrats to Vinny Tigner on the championship. He's a great driver, and yeah, I'm glad that we could have finished that out the way it did.
Jim Thurston getting the job done with a victory here in Sin City.
All right, we're done with Jim. Just call me James.
Jim is done?
Yeah, we're Jim. We're done.
James Thurston is back.
Jim is dead.
Jim is dead. James Thurston, number 96, is back. Thank you again for stopping by. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
And so, Ethan Burrell, number 37, wraps out the podium. And it looks like, again, Burrell with a strong run. And talk about another driver fighting with only the win in mind. Burrell close again, and these podiums have been racking up for you as of late.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was just kind of being patient, biding my time all night. Was kind of just watching all the chaos with the championship guys unfold, and saw a shot there at the very end. So I figured, go push hard and see if I could steal the win, but just came up a little short.
And all about those last few laps we saw between you, Tigner, and Jim Thurston. Maybe not the best of the short runs for you there. You felt your strong super haps was in the green flag racing?
Yeah, for sure. I felt like with how much on throttle time and how much grip we had, it'd be beneficial to just kind of sit back, take care of the tires, and let those guys start sliding around. And that was working all night. Didn't get too long of a run to really be able to get up to the front doing that, but it was working. So I just kind of stuck with that till the end.
And everything hanging on just to keep yourself inside the podium. So talking about tonight's race for you, coming in 5th to 3rd, we know you've raced a lot with the drivers in the championship, such as Matthew Weeks. How was it for you as an observer of this championship night, knowing everything was on the line right around you?
Yeah, it was fun to watch for sure. I know Weeks did a good job. Vinny did a good job. Jordan as well. Henry was really fast on the short runs there. So it was fun to kind of hang out and see those guys giving it everything they had, and it was fun to try to play spoiler too.
And so close to getting that role, of course, as a spoiler winner, but nevertheless, maybe that's the goal for 2025. A great part-time campaign this season, maybe a chance to go out there for victory in the next.
Yeah, we'll see. I plan to come back when I can next season, so we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. Maybe I can get enough racing under my belt to be able to compete in the points.
With that said, Ethan Burrell wrapping up this campaign with another very solid top 3 finish. Third tonight. Any final comments you'd like to make? The floor is yours.
Yeah, shout out to you. Doing a great job all season long. Vinny and Carter and all those guys for putting on the league. Shout out to, I'm assuming Vinny won the title, right?
That he did.
Yeah, shout out to Vinny. Awesome season for him. Good win by James there. That was a cool send he had. Shout out to Matthew Weeks, Trey Holmes, Jordan Owens for racing with me tonight. Have a good team atmosphere over there, and yeah, man, that's about everybody.
With that said, Ethan Burrell finishing up our final podium of 2024. The 37 comes away in third. Thank you once again for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Ethan Burrell gets away for third place. Jim Thurston gets away with the win, but the focus is on your second place finisher tonight. That's right, Jordan Kuntz, not the champion. Matthew Weeks, not the champion. A new champion comes to rise in Vinny Tigner, collecting the title to end 2024. Unbelievable campaign for the 12, which proved that consistency is key all along. Vinny's 1 victory, 8 top 5s, becoming his 9 top 5s, and 10 top 10s is the class of the field. And as a result, well, from top to bottom, Vinny Tigner earned this one and then some. Thank you for tuning in all year long to our coverage of Saturday Night Thunder. We thank you for stopping by from the beginning to the end of our both seasons this year and hope to have you back for 2025. We kick off racing, and it's coming around the corner already. Stay tuned. By the time we have February on the market, it's going to be SNT action and a whole lot more. A wonderful season comes to a close, so from Las Vegas, we pack our bags and slowly make our way to the virtual Daytona International Speedway for our next season opener. You've been watching live on FTN the Sin City Championship finale in the Saturday Night Thunder Grand National Series. From the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I've been David Kreutz, commentating and producing. If you enjoy, make sure to leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, and of course, check out our official Discord server. We'd love to have you join the fun. Just scan the QR code. It's completely free for all of our viewers and fans, and you can get a behind-the-scenes look at all of the action on our network, whether it's motorsport content or otherwise. Thank you for tuning in. Congratulations to Jim Thurston on his 2nd win this year, and Vinny Tigner wrapping up the 2024 B season with a championship. From David Kreutz and the SNT team and the FTN broadcasting crew as well, we hope you have a fantastic night. Thank you for tuning in, and we can't wait to have you back for 2025.